This is Good Morning Indiana, working for you.
Good morning. Time now is 4:27. We want to start off with the latest coronavirus death numbers. That death toll rising to 7 now, with one additional death overnight in Allen County.
We've had more than 201 cases now reported throughout the entire Hoosier state. The state health department every day at 10 a.m. will release the latest numbers across our state, but more testing is being done across Indiana as more folks are reporting having more of the symptoms that require the testing. Again, as Meredith has mentioned, 7 deaths in our state so far.
We are also hearing a lot about the shortage of masks and personal protection equipment for doctors and nurses, not only here in the Hoosier state, but across our country. We are looking into what people are doing locally to help people out. This is a woman from Muncie who said when she heard from a friend that they were in dire need of masks at the facility where she works, she got to sewing right away. Now organizations like Joanne Fabrics are going to be giving away mask making kits that will be starting later this morning. We'll have all that information for you. If you are someone who sews or would like to sew these masks for hospital workers across our country. Now, we do know the CDC says there isn't 100% proof that these are as protective as those N95 masks and other masks that are produced for hospital use, but it is better than having nothing at all.
And people are looking for ways to connect. That is one of the many ways that people are doing that. And Meredith, we're seeing an uptick in gun sales and the sales of ammunition across the state, this in light of the coronavirus. As you know, there's a lot of stores that are running out of things like toilet paper and pasta and bread, but gun sales are skyrocketing in light of the COVID-19. Many stores across the state are reporting that they're having their highest sales in months in light of the pandemic. We'll follow this story coming up here on Good Morning Indiana.
We do want to take a turn now. Meteorologist Todd Clausen here. Todd, weather starting to warm up as we are now into spring. What can we expect for our Monday?
You know, it's still going to be a little bit below normal here throughout the day today, but there is a warm up coming, so that is the good news after what was a chilly day yesterday with that rain and snow, and you can still see a few snow showers there at the top of your screen north of Lafayette in the Monticello area. Temperatures are in the 30s to right around 40 degrees in Bloomington. There's some patchy fog, there's some patchy drizzle out there, but nothing major as you take to the roadways. I'll have to be a little bit patient here this morning, but eventually we will get rid of that drizzle and fog, and then we're just left with mostly cloudy skies throughout the course of the afternoon hours. But our normal high this time of year should be around 55 degrees. We will be below that today as our high temperature, that tops off only right around 47.
This is Good Morning Indiana, working for you.
Now at 4:30 on Good Morning Indiana, a surge in the number of cases of COVID-19 in the Hoosier state. We're working for you this morning, breaking down the numbers.
Plus, Governor Holcomb has activated the Indiana National Guard to help with the state's COVID-19 response. This morning, we're taking a closer look at what they're doing to help Hoosiers in need.
And the Red Cross is in urgent need of blood donors, and IndyCar driver James Hinchcliffe is answering the call. The reminder this morning to give the gift of life. But first, it is 4:30 here on your Monday morning. Thanks for joining us. I'm Meredith Barrick.
I'm Rafael Sanchez. Meredith, it's great to see you, though we are 6 feet apart.
We are.
I was working out of my news vehicle last week, so it's good to be around some folks, even though we are practicing social distancing. So good morning to you at home.
And Todd, you are here joining us on the other side of the studio, and you have a check at our forecast as we kick off a new week.
Yeah, you know, as you look at Storm Team 6 radar right now, you don't really see much on it, but if you would look outside your window this morning, you'd see some patchy fog, which is not obviously going to show up on radar, but there's also some patchy drizzle out there as well, and that drizzle is just so light that radar is not picking it up here across the area, with the exception of some returns here across farther northern portions of this state, where they actually had a little coating of snow up in the Monticello area yesterday, and some other locations to the north as well. But all this snow shower activity will continue to push off towards the north, and we're just left with this clouds, we're left with the drizzle, but eventually too that will start to fade away, and we're not going to get into a lot of sunshine here throughout the day today, but we'll get rid of the drizzle, the clouds will thin a little bit, and the skies will at least start to brighten as we get into the afternoon hours. But these clouds extend all the way back off to our our west. As far as temperatures right now, we are in the 30s and 40s. We're at 40 in Bloomington, hovering right around 33 in the freezing mark in Peru. But these temperatures will start to climb throughout the course of the day today. We're not getting back to where we should be this time of year. We're going to see high temperatures today, only top off right around 47 degrees, but it's a step in the right direction. We'll talk more about the warming trend that's heading our way for the middle of the week, coming up in Maine weather in just a few minutes.
TK, thank you so much. At 4:32, a live look now at your traffic now. Traffic system. This is I-65 at the South Split. You could see some of that mist and showers that Todd was talking about. Good morning to our friends in Carmel, Kokomo, and Bloomington. Meredith?
We begin this morning with an update on the coronavirus outbreak in Indiana. Over the weekend, the State Department releasing new figures, including 3 more deaths. Sunday, 76 new COVID-19 cases were reported. That brings the statewide total to 201. 89 of those cases are in Marion County. 7 Hoosiers have now died from the virus. The latest deaths reported on Sunday are in Marion, Scott, and Allen counties. All of the victims have been 50 years of age or older. According to the state health department, 1,494 Hoosiers have been tested. We expect to get updated numbers from the state around 10 this morning. Now taking a look at the national numbers, the Johns Hopkins University tracker shows that there are now 35,211 cases of COVID-19 in the U.S. There have been 417 deaths. The U.S. now has the 3rd most cases behind Italy and China. Globally, there have been 339,041 cases reported. There have been 14,688 deaths. Nearly 99,000 patients have recovered.
The time now is 4:33, and thousands of Indiana National Guardsmen are ready to respond, helping the state with COVID-19. And this morning, some are already working to get critical supplies to local hospitals. In a video that was released over the weekend, the governor and the Indiana National Guard provided an update on how soldiers and airmen are helping Hoosiers. Troops are part of the critical planning meetings with state agencies to determine needs. They've also been working to help sort and pack shipments of medical supplies for hospitals.
At Stout Field in Indianapolis, we are actively working with the Indiana Department of Transportation to assist with the distribution of critical medical equipment and supplies to those hospitals throughout the state with urgent needs.
Guardsmen with specific skills are being identified to help in the field, such as medical, logistic, or communications. The troops are trained to support local agencies and help Hoosiers during this time of need. And that's what's happening in Indiana. Meanwhile, President Trump announced Sunday that he's deploying the National Guard to New York, California, and Washington State, some of the hardest hit areas by the COVID-19 pandemic. This as lawmakers continue to work on a coronavirus relief package. ABC's Ines de la Cuatera has the latest from Capitol Hill.
Overnight, President Trump announcing the National Guard will be deployed to the 3 states hit the hardest by the coronavirus outbreak: New York, California, and Washington State.
The federal government has deployed hundreds of tons of supplies from our national stockpile to locations with the greatest need.
The president also revealing makeshift hospitals will be built in those states to accommodate the growing number of cases. 4 in the New York area, providing another 1,000 beds, plus 8 in California and 4 in Washington State. And the administration promising it'll send hospitals respirators and personal protective gear such as masks and gowns.
So far delivered to New York, and this is the 19th, we had the N95 respirators, 186,416 delivered.
Meanwhile, on Capitol Hill, the first senator testing positive for COVID-19, Kentucky Senator Rand Paul. Senator Mitt Romney now having to go into quarantine after recently coming into contact with Paul. This as negotiations over a $2 trillion stimulus bill to help the economy recover from the outbreak are hitting a roadblock. Democrats say the two sides are still far apart, taking issue with key elements of the bill, including a $500 billion relief fund for corporations without any protections for workers.
And what it has is, for instance, a giant corporate bailout fund with no accountability.
Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell insists the bill is moving forward.
So we're fiddling here, fiddling with the emotions of the American people, fiddling with the markets.
Inez de la Quatera, ABC News, Washington.
Working together, people in the sewing community are answering the call to help as healthcare workers across our country are dealing with a shortage of personal protective equipment, things like gloves and face masks. Jessica Oldfield, who lives in Muncie, received a call from a friend who works at a midwife clinic in Nashville saying they were short on masks. Jessica had extra fabric on hand, so she got busy using 100% cotton, a pattern, and extra elastic. She's already made more than 20.
Just feeling like I had some purpose with my time of being home. That's what I told her right away. I was like, thank you for giving me something meaningful to do with all this time that we are just stuck at home with.
Jessica has reached out to clinics in Muncie where she plans to send extra that she has made. Now, we reached out to the Indiana State Department of Health, and they say while any protection is better than none, they do not have information on specific guidelines for making masks at home. The CDC says in settings where they are not available, healthcare personnel can use bandanas or scarves when caring for patients with COVID-19 as a last resort. But these homemade masks are not considered personal protective equipment since their capability to protect is still unknown. The CDC says caution should be used when considering this option. The homemade option should ideally be used in combination with a face shield that covers the entire front and sides of the face. As the sewing community unites to try to help those who need these masks, Joann Fabrics is seeing an increase in people buying material. We talked to a manager at the store near 86th and Allisonville Road. Today, they plan to give away mask making kits on a first come, first served basis. They open at 9 a.m.
The time now is 4:38, and the city of Indianapolis is working with local non-for-profit organizations to help the homeless population during COVID-19. The city has placed 15 hand washing stations throughout downtown to help control the spread of the coronavirus. The Indianapolis Office of Public Health and Safety and the Horizon House, they've also teamed up to provide support services to Hoosiers in need. Now, beginning today, Horizon House will offer verbal screenings for COVID-19 symptoms. The organization will also provide hygiene kits, socks, other essentials as needed and as available.
This morning, we're reminding you that the Red Cross is in urgent need of blood. And among those first on the scene to help is IndyCar driver James Hinchcliffe. As we told you, the 33-year-old knows the importance of the Red Cross. The organization helped save his life 5 years ago. Hinch was in an accident at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway that nearly cost him his life. So when the organization put out the call for help, there was no question for Hinch as to whether or not he'd show up.
We put out the email or send him a text, and his right response is, you tell me where, wind me up, point me in the right direction, and I'm there. And I got to tell you, it's genuine.
If you don't have money to give, you've got blood to give. Everybody's got a little extra time on their hands right now, so really encouraging everybody to go redcrossblood.org, find a drive, and try and come out and donate.
Since the coronavirus outbreak, more than 2,700 blood drives across the nation have been canceled. That's about 87,000 less pints of blood. For more information on where and how you can donate, you can head to the RTV6 app and click on this story. Todd.
As you walk out the door this morning, there's a little bit of patchy drizzle, but you are missing out on two of the bigger storm systems. There's snow to our north, some heavier rainfall down to the south. Obviously, we find ourselves right in the middle of those two systems. I'll let you know what that means for the rest of today, and we'll look ahead to the rest of the week as well, coming up in your Storm Team 6 forecast. The time now is 4:40. You're watching Good Morning Indiana right here on RTV6.
Days from 4:30 to 7.
Welcome back. It is 4:43 on your Monday morning. We're taking a live look at I-465 at White River. A couple of cars out there, not too much traffic as we saw last week. We anticipate the same here this week. Developing this morning, an investigation is underway after a deadly house fire on the north side. Firefighters were called to Norwaldo Avenue in a neighborhood near Keystone Avenue and Kessler Boulevard Sunday morning. When they arrived, they found heavy smoke from the home and an adult male inside dead. IMPD homicide investigators are working the case with IFD as standard protocol. Also developing this morning, state and county officials continue to investigate after 6 people were killed when a bridge collapsed due to floodwaters. This happened Friday morning in Franklin County. Investigators say a bridge, Laurel, between Cincinnati and Indianapolis was destroyed after heavy storms led to high water. 5 of the victims' bodies were found during a search Friday. The 6th body was found Saturday morning. 35-year-old Felina Lewis and her 3 children, 4-year-old Kylie Mosier, 7-year-old Eliza Iziam Lewis and 13-year-old Ethan Williams all died. 47-year-old Sean Roberts and 48-year-old Burton Spurlock, who were in another car, also died.
The time now is 4:44, and former Hollywood producer and convicted sex offender Harvey Weinstein has tested positive for the COVID-19. According to TMZ, the 68-year-old is one of 2 confirmed cases at the Wend Correctional Facility in New York. Weinstein was moved to the prison recently after being taken to Rikers Island following his rape and sexual assault conviction earlier this month. It is unclear when he might have contracted the disease. He's now reportedly being held in isolation.
Canada and Australia are threatening to withdraw from the 2020 Olympic Games if they aren't postponed. The Games are scheduled to start in July in Tokyo. Canadian officials say they're willing to help the IOC search for alternatives. Meanwhile, in the U.S., the Olympic Training Center in Colorado is closed through at least April. Athletes there say they worry they won't have enough time to train and prepare if the games are held in July as scheduled. The IOC says it will make a final decision about the games next month. It turns out the happiest place in the world isn't Disneyland. It's Finland. That's according to the United Nations World Happiness Report. This is the 3rd year in a row Finland has been named the happiest place in the world. Nations are ranked on 6 key variables that support well-being: income, freedom, trust, healthy life expectancy, social support, and generosity. Denmark, Switzerland, Iceland, and Norway round out the top 5. And if you're wondering, the U.S. came in at 18. That's up 1 spot from 19 last year. All right, here at 4:46, are we going to be happy with our forecast today, Todd?
Maybe a little smirk. I don't know. I don't think you'll have that big smile on your face. Towards the middle of the week, that'll change just a little bit, but we're still kind of dealing with this damp and dreary weather. It started over the weekend. Saturday was cold. We had a few flurries. Yesterday, we brought in that rain, snow, sleet mixture across the area. That's kind of winding down here this morning. You notice a little bit of snow here across northern portions of the state, and that's heading in a northerly direction. But we still have the drizzle, we still have the clouds, and that damp feel that's present almost all across the area. So as you walk out the door, there's a little bit of patchy fog as well. Things will get a little bit better, though, as the day goes on. We have this storm system to our south that is going to continue to head in that southerly direction. We have a little bit of rain snow mixture here to the north. That, too, is going to be sliding off towards the north and east. We just find ourselves in between these 2 systems, and just lots of clouds around and an occasional flurry and or a little bit of patchy drizzle here this morning. But watch what happens as we progress through TrueCast. We will start to thin these clouds out just a little bit as the day goes on. So the morning part of our day is going to be the most dreary part of the day. As we get into the afternoon hours, we even could break out into a little bit of sunshine. So you have to be patient today, but eventually we'll start to see the weather improve as the day goes on. Temperatures this morning, we are chilly, 33 right now in Tipton, 40 in Bloomington, right at 37 degrees here in Indianapolis. Throughout the day today, our temperatures really aren't going to do a whole lot. We'll be in the 30s through 10 a.m., and then eventually climbing up into the low 40s by the noon hour, 43 degrees by 2 p.m., and then high temperatures today eventually get up to right around 47 to 50 degrees, depending on where you are across the area. Our normal high this time of year is 55, so we'll be a little bit below that. This evening, maybe if you are going out for a walk, keep in mind sunset now, not until 8:01 p.m., and we will have temperatures in the 40s with those partly to mostly cloudy skies this evening. Then overnight tonight, it's chilly once again. Temperatures going down into the 30s, but once we get past tomorrow, we're going to start a warming trend that is going to be heading our way, and the warmer temperatures are going to start to work their way into the forecast. Tomorrow, we make the jump back up into the low 50s. However, with the warmer air will come the chance of some showers once again returning to the forecast. So the overall weather pattern remains fairly active, and you notice we have rain chances in the forecast Wednesday all the way through Saturday. No all-day rains. There will be an opportunity to get out and about and enjoy that warmer temperatures that work their way in, but just keep in mind you're probably going to have to keep that umbrella handy as well.
Todd, thank you. Let's take a look outside. Good morning to our friends in Anderson, Shelbyville, and Barkersville. Let's stay in Johnson County. This is Greenwood, a live picture there at I-65 at Greenwood. It looks very cloudy out there, and foggy, I should say, not cloudy. Foggy, a little mist as I was coming in this morning on I-65 from Johnson County, so be mindful if you are heading out and about today. So, things will get worse before they get better. A grim message this morning from Amazon CEO Jeff Bezos sent to his employees over the weekend. In a memo, Bezos wrote, "It's a time of great stress and uncertainty. It's also a moment in time when the work we're doing is at its most critical." He then put out a call out for those who have been laid off to work for Amazon and outlined some new safety precautions. Amazon Saturday announced that hourly workers in the U.S. delivery network would receive double pay for every hour they work in excess of 40 hours each week. And that follows temporary raises of $2 per hour that will be in effect through the month of April.
Netflix is creating a $100 million relief fund for TV and film workers who are unemployed due to coronavirus. The streaming giant says almost all movie and television productions have ceased globally, and that has more than 100,000 crew members out of work. Netflix says most of the money will go toward helping them make ends meet. Some of it will go toward other nonprofit organizations with similar goals.
So let's talk about these superstars behind me. Tom Hanks and his wife Rita Wilson, they're recovering. The two stars contracted the coronavirus while in Australia working on a movie based on Elvis Presley. They were self-quarantined after they were released from a hospital. Hanks tweeted Sunday, 2 weeks after our first symptoms, and we feel better. Rita also provided an update for fans, posting this video of her delivering a word-for-word rap-along to Naughty by Nature's hip-hop classic, Hip Hop Hooray, on her Instagram. An Indiana toddler is showing his appreciation for healthcare workers on the front lines of the coronavirus. Hear his sweet message. That's a sweet kid. His message is coming up.
And coming up at 5, Eli Lilly will begin their drive-through testing for healthcare workers at its Indy headquarters today. Our Kelsey Anderson joins us with what you need to know about that process. It's 4:51. We'll be right back.
Live on CourtTV.com.
Make our neighbors hear you. Hey, you. Say you matter. Not matter. We appreciate you. Appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you.
I want this kid in the building every morning. An Indiana toddler getting in on a national movement to let healthcare workers know that they're appreciated. And listen, and we appreciate you because we could all use a smile every day. And that young man makes me smile. Richmond mom Jenna posted this video of her son Liam thanking healthcare workers who are battling the coronavirus pandemic there on the front lines. The Twitter campaign encourages people to give a shout out to healthcare workers, literally using the hashtag #Solidarity@8. It calls on people to go out to their windows, their balconies, or their porches, Meredith, at 8 o'clock Sunday evening. I wish it were a little earlier for those of us that work overnight.
That's a little past my bedtime.
8 o'clock is good. In fact, say thank you to a healthcare worker at any hour of the day, really, but then ask them to make some noise for people on the front lines of COVID-19. I think you could hear some of the balcony cheering there.
Yeah.
Many healthcare workers are risking their own safety, trying to curb this pandemic, and we're so thankful for their efforts every single day. We want to make sure that they know how much we appreciate what you do. We appreciate you. You are heroes, hometown heroes throughout not only Indiana, but across the country. Give them a clap, give them a cheer. They're doing some amazing work as we speak.
All right, as you walk out the door this morning, there's a little bit of patchy drizzle out there and a little bit of patchy fog as well, but no major issues if you do have to take to the roadways here this morning. Eventually a high temperature of 47 degrees with a little more in the way of sunshine later on this afternoon. Tomorrow, 53 degrees. Showers arrive late in the day, and then those showers continue off and on for the next few days as we round out the week. But with the showers comes warmer temperatures returning to central Indiana, so that's the trade-off. And no day looks to be a complete washout, so that's good news as well, as you will be able to get out and about. You're just going to have to pick your times. The time now is 4:57. You're watching Good Morning Indiana right here on RTV6. Stay with us. We'll be right back.